Cool. What about your one thing that stood out to you? You know,
No, Alex.
yeah, Alex gave his
Okay,
why he was
mine.
tech difficulties.
Well,
Just so we can
mine.
move the show forward.
Mine was, honest with you, it's the backlash that AEW is getting from the Matt Hardy thing and the way they've handled it, because they have not handled it well either. And everything, because after he said he didn't have a concussion, and then Matt Hardy's wife Ruby, she came on, she said he did definitely have a concussion, and I'm glad to hear from him from the Wednesday show that he's fine and everything like that. And it's just the way they handle it is maybe indicative of the type of company that they're showing right now. I do like, now don't get me wrong, I do enjoy AEW for their storytelling. I think they have been consistent in their storytelling, much better than WWE has. I will give them that. They've done consistent storytelling. I'm not saying I'm a fan, but I will give them props.
Caught you.
I'll give the devil his due. I'm gonna give the devil their due, and I do enjoy, at least they're being logical in the story progression and everything. They're going from this to that, and the E doesn't do that a lot, or most of the time, and everything. So sometimes they do. Most of the time, it's hit and miss. So I enjoy that, but the in-ring work and everything has been, it's been sloppy. They've been doing things. It's been spot fest a lot. These guys are just getting their moves in, boom, 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 and you don't feel the logic in the wrestling moves. They come and just hit their moves, hitting their moves, and like that. And then having 100, and the Bucks are notorious, 100 false finishes. Like, how many finishes do they have? Like 4, 5?
I don't know. Their whole offense is finishes, basically.
Yeah, it's all finishes. So
that's what they do.
And
I don't like the Young Bucks either. So
yeah, me and you are fine with that. But and it's indicative how sloppy that they could have done. They could just stop the match. It's over. He's hurt. We'll stop it, and then they can go on to Wednesday and go, okay, the match was a no contest. There was no definitive winner. We'll do the match now. We could do it on Wednesday, or we'll do a special for the next time, or like that. They could have done that.
Well, now he's out with the concussion.
Yeah, he's out now. They could have just said, it could have said what? It could have said no contest. He hasn't left, but he's out with the concussion. We're not sure he's in. You go play into, or you could play it in the story. Sammy comes out and goes, Matt Hardy's not coming back. I may not have got the win, but he's hurt now. And he ain't coming back no more. I put him out of wrestling. He could have done that.
Yeah.
He could have done that. And then when Hardy comes back, and a surprise, maybe like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, Hardy makes a surprise return. Bam. I ain't dead yet. It could have done that. And people would have been fine. See, that would have worked better in the regards of that. So it's just indicative of you have the inmates running the asylum, and it's starting to show in some of the product and everything. And then a lot of the fans now that started as hardcore AEW fans are starting to realize it now too. And they still have their hardcore fans, they still have the fans, but a lot of them are start watching going, I can't watch this either. Now, again, I understand. I just wanted to touch on that. And what they're doing, if they can't tighten their ship up soon, they're going to go by the wayside. They're going to say they're going to go by the way of Impact. Well, Impact is like I'm gonna say Impact is like the cockroach of wrestling. I don't think they're ever gonna die.
They're still there.
They're still there, but AEW is in the mainstream now, and now they need to tighten up their ship, or they will go by the way of the dodo. I don't know, over a year, a couple of years, it's gonna happen, or someone's gonna get seriously hurt though. Yeah. Seriously hurt. Someone might even die.
There's always risk in wrestling,
but you try to minimize the risk,
right?
Yeah. So
no, that was a dangerous spot to begin with. They should.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking about.
More stuff in the ring and less stuff out of the ring.
And then here's the thing about that too. I thought it was going to be in the ring match. Wow. When they were doing that,
it was a street fight basically.
So I thought they were going to start in the ring. Usually most street fights start in the ring, and then they'll work their way outside.
Or basically a falls count anywhere match. That's what it ended up being.
I mean,
no, it was a street fight. It was last man standing. But usually that started in the center of the ring. Again, that I didn't understand why they had to start out on the outside when they could have, started in the ring and everything. They didn't really need that spot. Again, I don't know who's doing the road agents, because they have some of the best road agents. Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, Dean Malenko, Kip, Billy Gunn, Kip Sabian. They have all these great guys back there, but who's calling these matches? I don't think they are.
I think the wrestlers are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think the agents they're doing it because I know Dean Malenko had never done anything like that. I don't think he would have called anything. So the wrestlers are basically letting the wrestlers call the match, and you need somebody to tell them you can't don't do what you don't know what to do. It's a Dusty Rhodes. Don't do what you know good to do it. So yeah, again, I hope they tighten that up because I want an alternative. I want a mainstream alternative. I am in the boat of we need variety, but not if the variety is going to get someone hurt, and not if they're not. Because like I said, well, they're doing about the same. They're getting the same audiences now. It's not no new people are coming. Okay,
the same ballet, Junior.
Yeah.
Yeah, same ballet, Junior.
Have you seen ballet people? They're hardcore. I don't know why that's a line, but I digress.
I think.
I mean,
I was just gonna say that's actually a fair point. I know there was a lot of discussion, like some of the chats that I was a part of, especially the night of, and I realized something because I tried to defend the doctor's decision and all this because the doctor seemed to make the call that he was okay to continue, but there is the issue of that it seemed like he went off of at least partly off of Hardy's word in that moment, and that if that's the case, that's not okay because you don't ask someone who's hurt if they're okay. 9 times out of 10, they're probably gonna be like, oh yeah, no, I'm fine. But like especially with like a concussion and stuff, I'm no doctor. I don't know about that kind of stuff, but I'm also not going to like watch like. We in our discussion we realized like the more you look at that actual spot and everything that happened after, the more apparent it becomes that they should have ended the match. I keep forgetting Aubrey. I think her name is the ref of that match. She threw up the X twice to indicate that match
she knew it was bad.
Should have ended, and I think that's kind of I feel like that's kind of the final word. And that's kind of hard to say, like, because,
I mean, the referee's also a character,
but I mean,
too, so, she's there.
But
like, the doctor was the person who throws the final word, not the ref.
The doc and the ref both had the authority, probably I'd say the doc even more so, to just say, hey, that's it.
I mean, the ref doesn't have the authority to stop a match for no reason.
Right, not for no reason. But that's kind of my point, is this was...
the ref doing this it's a signal for the doctor to check.
That's a fair point. I guess in that case,
right? But the ref, Aubrey Edwards is a character too. She's just like Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara.
But ultimately it comes down to hey, it's pretty clear this match shouldn't have ended.
Like wrestlers will throw up their own X's too if they get hurt. So.
Oh gosh. That just But So.
No.
But yeah, I hear you though. I do realize like also like, and in regards to Dynamite and the promo, I'm kind of in agreement. Like, it felt weird watching that promo from Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that it's like, but then again, I think part of the weirdness of that is just what happened at All Out. Like between that and the actual promo, it was just kind of like.
So it killed the show. It literally
and like literally every and honestly like every other review I've seen of All Out has even said that moment kind of killed the vibe of the rest of the show.
Yeah, killed the vibe of the show. And even I went back and I watched it again. I'll be honest with you, I watched it again, and I took out my feeling toward after the match, and I'll be honest with you, I still didn't like the show, but I think I was being more generous on my grade than I probably was really with the show, but
I mean, I like the show, but I do. I
stand by
like. I think in that moment I was just trying my best to not focus too much on what had happened.
Not being negative.
Yeah, but I mean that's also partly on me. That's just how I am. But I do see. Yeah. But I see what other people have been saying. Like honestly, it did kind of like. It might not have killed my enjoyment of the show as much, but you could tell that people were not feeling the show as much after that moment. Like whether it was online or even like some of the crowd that was there.
Plus it was long. I mean, it was a 4-hour show. And how hot was it in Jacksonville? I mean,
They said 95 degrees.
95 degrees, like felt like 100. They're out there for 4 hours. All these matches were pretty long. I mean, these were pretty long matches too. And it's just the vibe of it was it just went from bad to worse. Don't know, but that's my one thing, and I just feel if AEW is going to survive, they need to tighten up their ship. They need to make the ship run more efficiently. They need somebody who can make those decisions in the back, somebody who can at least be like, okay, well, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're not going to do. No, yes, no, yes. But you have somebody running it who's, I hate to use the word, but he's a mark, and he's not putting his foot down. Now, I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just saying what my observation of that.
Yeah.
That's my observation.
I disagree, just wholeheartedly.
That's fine. I mean, you can disagree.
Right, this is how it works, right? This is how the show works.
Yeah.
I don't mind what they ended up doing. You know, the show is live. They had a story beat that they really felt was necessary, which I disagree that they even should have done the stipulation in the first place, which definitely illuminated the problem that they had because Matt Hardy had to win the match. And you could have thrown the match out, sure, but I don't have a problem with what they did. I think what could have happened and what should have happened, there should have just been more communication to the viewers of what was going on. So it wasn't quite clear if it was a work, if it was actual real when he was, with the doctor. They threw out the match and then they restarted about 3 minutes later. I think more communication between AEW and the pay-per-view and the audience probably would have gone a long way to minimizing the backlash. I know people are going to get upset no matter what. I watch a lot of live sports. All right, I'm a sports fan, so I understand these injuries and risks of injury are kind of inherent to the sport.
Of course.
And we've seen, especially in football, players are notorious for re-entering games while injured. All right, and that's gritty,
But this
is not my favorite mascot, but I mean they just have grit because they work through the pain. So it doesn't bother me as much or take me out of it. And I thought Matt Hardy's promo on Wednesday was good. So I think better communication all around would probably just help alleviate the issues. Because I mean we saw the nasty fall, right? If the doctor, if they just communicated to the commentary team, hey, this is what you guys tell him, don't, because the commentary team is confused. Well, I guess he's okay now. It should have just been definitive. The doctor evaluated Matt Hardy. He's good to finish the match, and then they finished the match.
Because there's no one steering, taking control of the backstage to do that. At least in the E, you have Vince back there who's going to go, okay, do this. Here's what we're going to do. Yeah, in the headset, there's no one back there doing that.
I know. They're doing it all the time right now. So